大家好啊，歡迎大家收睇今集嘅今日係星期馬。咁我今日咧就想同大家集中討論一下咧韓國嗰邊嘅賽事啊。咁既然講到要南韓嘅賽事啦，就當然要介紹我嘅嘉賓先啦。咁介紹嘉賓出場啦，佢就係阿 Jo。Hello Jo，Good morning，How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Sherry?
All
Thank you
good.
for having me in the show.
Yeah, I'm very happy to invite you today. So, Jo is one of the racing commentators in the English broadcasting team in South Korea. Jo, can you briefly introduce yourself to our Hong Kong audience? Why you entered this industry?
Well, my name is Jo, and I've started calling races 5 years ago from 2016, and it's actually 4 years. I entered KRA 2015, and I debuted as a race caller since 2016. It is actually bashing to confess that I started following racing after I joined KRA. I was always interested in sports. I liked the enthusiastic atmosphere of following sports, and so I always had genuine heart for sport fan. And by the time I was graduating college, I really wanted to be a journalist. And believe it or not, KRA is a Korean government-owned company, so it is the employees here are very highly educated, and you have to go through 6 official exams to be qualified as a regular employee in KRA. So I thought it was a very challenging task to be able to be hired here, and the job seemed very admiring. So I applied for it, and I went through all the exams, and I got the job. And that's when I really started following racing to become really an expert in sports and expert in horse racing.
I see. So there are many horses in Korea, and I think their quality is now improving. Jo, what is your favorite horse in your country?
It's very difficult question. I think out of all the questions that you asked me in the previous time, I think this is the most difficult question because I have so many favorite horses. I can think of Blue Chippa, who is now these days one of the champion horse of who represents Korean crowd, and Dorkong obviously last year ran tremendous race, Dubai World Cup. Although it was just very meaningful that he actually made presence in the Dubai World Cup. But my favorite horse would be Blue Chippa color wearing. Blue Chippa owner owns the same horse, Triple Nine, because I believe he's just best Korean bred horse ever. He won most prestigious races consecutively 3 times in a row, best Korean bred, and he's been the horse of the year 2016, 17, and I just have to like Triple Nine as my favorite horse.
Yeah, Triple Nine also have some good performance outside Korea. That's very
Still
good.
running, but probably will be retiring soon.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, he's old, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So sometimes, sometimes when I watch some Korea racing video, I can hear Jo calling the race. So Jo, you as a race caller in your country, can you tell us about your experience? Like how's the preparation work of doing it, or share with us some interesting stories about it?
Well, I've just mentioned I've been calling races for 4 years, but it's always been so very, very difficult and challenging for me to call races. If you have the serious heart for racing, you will know that your heart beats as fast up to the race speed within 2 minutes. And to be able to really calm yourself down and be able to explain what's going on, it's just always so difficult. I'm that type of a person who always feels the excitement as a whole just directly to myself. So it's really a challenging thing to be able to relax and really objectively tell what's going on. So yeah, it's been difficult, but I just gotta say, racing never stops. That means you cannot stop. You're calling the race and you can't stop. Horses can stop, but I can't stop because race will continue. And that's really one thing that I learned. It's the spirit of the show must go on. So that's really great thing that I learned about throughout the experience of calling the race.
That's good. I think you must be enjoying calling the race, right?
Yes, it's very fun. I'm very grateful for the fact that I do this job that I love with my heart, as a career, and it's very exciting and fun every single time, every single day. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that fact that I'm a racing presenter.
That's really good. So I have some questions about the racetrack in Korea. Can you tell us about the turf track construction? I want to know, is it still progressing or it has stopped due to the coronavirus? Maybe. How's the track construction now? Turf track.
It is true that after COVID, we're not. I can't say it stopped, but it's definitely an assignment that we still want to continue, and it's still under consideration. We were in a serious planning out session just until last year. We were actually planting some of the different different genes of grasses to test which grass best suits here in Korea to really build a turf track. We were planting them at the backstretch to see which grasses grow fast, grasses are more sturdy to have on. And it was really, like you said, after COVID that we were just barely coping with the situation right now, and we're barely maintaining to resume racing. So we don't have spare labor to really have the turf track built at the moment. So on resuming the races at the moment. But it's going to be very interesting and it's very important that we want to have the turf track built because, as you know, Korean stud pedigree is very much sand amiable pedigree, meaning we would be preferring probably that's why we would be preferring the stallions and horses, the genes from the America, because we believe that there's a myth that American horses, we want to find that kind of a horse who will stand and who will be strong enough to stand the heavy sand track. And that is also why we have the myth that the other nation bred, like for instance Australian or New Zealand bred horses, cannot really stay on in the Korean track. That's why it's really hard to find them. But having turf track will definitely mean that we will invite the variation, the variety in the stud farm and industry itself. So it is going to be a very important task that KRA must continue.
Okay, so I hope everything goes well as soon as possible. So let us talk about the racing topic. The most important thing is the Korea Derby on Sunday.
Yes.
So after the barrier draw, I see the rollerblade will jump from gate 14. Jo, do you think it is a concern from the wide gate?
Yes, it's very much a concern. I was actually going to be picking that out, that he was starting from gate 14. Rollerblade is a juvenile champion horse who actually unfortunately missed the first leg of Korean Triple Crown Series. Korean Derby, the 23rd Korean Derby this year, is obviously the second leg for the Korean Triple Crown Series, and the first leg is the KRA Cup Mile, and Rollerblade could not run in there. And Rollerblade is obviously juvenile champion who was expected to be the contender for the trip candidate this year, and now he's missed the first leg, so it became impossible. But Rollerblade will probably be the top contender for this race, Korean Derby. And there's a doubt that he hasn't run much in the recent times because he didn't run for mile and he didn't do any of the other races prior to this one, but he's proven himself for his competence, his possibilities. And of course, like you said, he's starting from wide out gate, and that is a concern because he's going to be he's going to be leading in terms of his performance. And 14 is obviously not ideal. It's a wide gate, and out of 16 it's not even wider gate. It's just not good. And I believe the jockey is a very brave jockey. He's top jockey from Seoul Racecourse, Kim He always rides best horses, and he's been teaming with Rollerblade the whole time, and he's gonna be probably making the wild move that he always does. He's probably gonna be bringing him wide and really start in the front positioning. But we believe there's gonna be Save the World, who was a top contender for Carrot Cup Mile, who was actually fourth in that very race. He does the usual leading as well, but he's drawn gate 3 this time, so he's going to be at the front positioning, easily out to be the front runner. So we believe Rollerblade is going to be probably following just after Save the World to be on pace early. They two are going to be fighting in the early parts. So I think there's going to be a very competitive fight in the early speed.
Yes. Okay, so if I ask you to only pick one horse in the Derby, which one you like the most?
There are so many. You all 16 horses, they all have chances, and you all obviously have to consider mile winner Touchdown Man, who is a winner at the mile race, and like I said, Rollerblade Juvenile Champion, Save the World, who was actually up and coming, who missed the break last time, who can do it, and Round Tough Man, who got up at the last stage for that mile race, can rode as well. But to be picking one horse, I want to pick. It's very hard. It's very breathtaking, but I would want to say it's Determination that I want to suggest here. Determination from gate 16, who is a closer, who tends to run better longer than a mile race. So last time planned to run at a Carrot Cup Mile, but couldn't go there because he was misbehaving. He dropped the jockey in the parade ring, so he got scratched at the last minute. Determination is the one that I want to suggest. Owned by the Chinese owner, who we believe she lives in Hong Kong right now, Cheng Mei Ching. Determination is my pick because, like I said, there's going to be a competitive challenge in the beginning parts, so front running performance will be very difficult, as is why it gives a little bit better chance for the closers. And Determination does the usual closing if he's fit enough to run like he's been running before. I think Determination has the chance starting from wide gate, positioning nicely at the back, avoiding kickback. It's going to be wet track this weekend. We believe there's going to be rain forecasted for Korea, so it's going to be wet track. So that's something that's going to play out nicely or not. It's one to consider, but Determination will probably have better chance if he does the usual closing. So Determination, my choice.
Thank you. So let's see whether Determination can overcome the widest gate. Thank you so much.
Fingers crossed.
Everything goes well. And I'm really looking forward to September to see, for example, maybe Hong Kong and Japan sending horses to the Korea Sprints and Korea's Cup. Thank you for your time, Jo. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Shireen. Good luck.
Goodbye.
Happy racing day.